Hello, this is Vic Benedict. We're playing Devil May Cry 4 on Legendary Dark Knight difficulty. This is mission 9 for you. Locate the captive Kyrie. I think that's how to say it. So, you have to do several battles before you get a checkpoint. And this first section is going to have one wave of the Alto Angelos and the Bianco Angelos. So ideally, what you want to do here to get rank and to get a lot of orbs and to increase your chances of being most successful through this chapter is to send back the projectile of these guys, which I barely got off right there, and I didn't think I would, but I did. And what's happening now is that I was so ahead of the spawn right here that I had to wait a second before it got to the time at which these guys come into the picture. But I've done this before and killed these guys and didn't get that charged shot sent back at these guys, and I didn't get more of these guys here. So I don't know what's going on with that. It looks like they're giving you more. They're penalizing you for doing that. Or maybe it's somehow compensating for the spawn. I'm not sure. But all I know is that the more Alto Angelos, the more angels you have, the less likely they will do that projectile. It seems like anything over 10, it just takes too long for them to do it, and they never seem to do it. But that is a good way to do it, and then we'll be killing the rest of these guys. I don't mind the blades too much. All they do is guard. That's their main defense. They have no flailing attack. They do have a screech, like a screaming attack, which is an area of effect attack, and it will damage you as well as, I think it stuns and damages you. I know it stuns you, but it will drive you back and prevent you from doing what you want to do. This chapter, I did die, I think, twice on the boss, and then I finished him off. And I did get all of the red orbs in this chapter, so if you happen to be looking for all the red orbs, I can say that I got 100% of them, so I didn't leave any out at any point. So that's actually pretty rare for me. I don't go out of my way to get them usually. So I like this chapter, and I like this game. Bottom line, even when you're Dante, all I say is bring on the challenge. So a couple of difficult encounters in the helicopter, in the conveyor lift, but basically it's not too bad. But this game never feels bland to me. It's always offering fun and mechanics that are so impeccably refined. That's why these games are so beloved. But this is the last blade right here, and then once the webbing is gone, hopefully you won't see that process because I've cut the cutscene out. We'll come in here, and there are some benches to smash, 6 in number, and there's a combat adjudicator for you. There's the title again, for you. I don't know why it's called for you, probably because he's on a quest to save the woman. And over here is a hidden cache of red orbs. Pretty finicky, as I remember remarking in my last guide, so just move around a little bit, and then we'll go over here. I can say that I have picked up the caliber, so I'll be using it, hopefully being able to use it successfully. Then when you get the cutscene, it actually puts you in this room here, but for continuity, I've edited it, and then when you come up here, if you do happen to die in here, they will start you at the beginning of the level. So as long as you complete this section, you will get yourself a checkpoint, and I think that is the only one of this chapter. So a few videos back I remarked about the Godfather Dictator, and I was watching his DMD guide for he also has a guide for this difficulty mode, but I haven't watched it because I don't want to ruin my experience. He doesn't offer commentary on that one. He just has music tracks on it. And basically, if you remember, I was asking him, is this a sufficient challenge? I know he was watching some of my videos. I can't say which ones he watched or not, but I think he watched enough of my videos for DMD mode so that he could offer an opinion when I asked him, is this mode going to challenge me? And he just, if you remember, he stated that, and the guy I'm talking about is The Godfather Dictator. He said, that's what you type in if you want to find his channel. But he said that he thought it would be a good challenge for me if I didn't use items. He said if I did use items, then it would be easy as hell, I think he said. But he thought it would be a good challenge for me, but he wasn't sure exactly. So I think that is a good thing to do. Just no items. Because on hard mode, I would frequently use items. Even on Son of Sparta, when I was unlocking Dante Must Die, I remember really struggling on this boss and having to use many items, all gold orbs all the time. And just the fact that I can beat these bosses now, and I can't say I beat them all, just the ones up until now, without using items, it shows that I'm progressing as a player. I'm never going to be a pro, because I think that's kind of an elusive thing, be a pro. I think you can only be a pro in the eyes of others. You can't say you're a pro, because at that point, it just sounds too egotistical. But it's flattering when people think you're a pro. But I think that for me, it's a good challenge because I'm learning these bosses a lot more. I won't ever do another guide for Dante Must Die difficulty, and I won't play it either. It's not because I don't like this game or anything like that. It's just that I'm trying to cover different games in different ways than I've done them before. Like with Ninja Gaiden 2, gone are the days where I could do a guide, because I've done that 3 times, and I've also done a 4th run, and the 4th run was a challenge run with a particular weapon, and it was enjoyed by thousands, if I may presume to say that many, based on the numbers. But I can't speak for the enjoyment level of those people. But I've been doing weapon runs, and that's a different way of covering something that I've covered extensively before. And I'm also doing live commentary, so every time I come back to Ninja Gaiden 2, I'll be doing live commentary, and I'll be selecting a weapon to run with and do the campaign with. So in this room we have the Mega Scarecrows and the Scarecrows. I can't stress how important the charge shot is. Like, when I first played this game, I didn't even know there was I didn't know there was a progression of charges. Like, I picked up the shot, but I didn't even know until somebody pointed it out to me that you hold it for about 6 or 7 seconds. Who was it? I think it might, I don't know who it was, but I felt like such an idiot. But the thing is, there's no way for anybody to know everything. By the time you start making a guide, you should know more than other people. That's why you're doing the guide, because you're spreading knowledge. But at that point, once I learned that, I said, I'm not doing this Dante Must Die guide from this point on. I'm going to cancel what I've done and start over, with new knowledge. So when you come in here, hit the switch, you'll get a cutscene, and then we'll be dealing with Frost. It gives you a bit of an upper hand to freeze time or slow down time a little bit. Keep the camera moving. On the next chapter, I believe we're fighting Fausts, mini Fausts, because that's what they had us do before. So we haven't fought a group of Fausts. I don't think we fought more than one at a time. Well, we fought 2 at a time before last chapter. But anyway, I have a lot of research to do with Dante, because he's got so many moves that he almost has too many moves. And I'm actually really glad that I'm playing this game over Lords of Shadow 2, because I bought it on the PC and I went through it and I collected everything, and I was going to do a second guide for that game, but it has a special place in my heart, but the level of complexity is just not there as it is here. And they took that game in a different direction, as many of you know. So in the first video, when I said that this game was the best game I've played this year, that's absolutely true. It was, obviously it's not new to other people, but to me it's definitely, it's the best game that was new to me that I've come across this year. And last year it was Ninja Gaiden 2. and things kind of got carried away with that game, obviously. But some games change people's lives, and we're not talking about, the game saved me from cancer or learning to deal with depression. It's not like that. It's just finding a game that you could really bond with, I think. And when I say that, I'm being as serious as I possibly can, and I know a lot of people would mock those kind of sentiments, but those people don't know games, and they probably have no idea of sentimentality whatsoever. So anyway, so here is the Blitz. Remember, charge shot level 3s on this guy. What I like to do on those guys is Dante is something that I saw in a Kirnoth video, and what he does is he does the kick he does the kick, and then he cancels with Royal Guard, and it does a lot of damage on those guys. So it takes a little bit of practice to learn, but once you can learn it, it takes care of those guys even quicker than the charge shot level 3. So I'm just trying to be honest about my experiences with this game when I bring people's names up. It's just people I've come across. So is it the last blade? We're moving up. We might be done. They're going to show us which direction we need to go. Yeah, and we're on the boss fight. So, Agnes, I think that's how it is. He's got a shot. He's got an attack right away. So I usually fail to it. He usually hits me. It's a slow attack with the sword. It's like a 3-hit slow combo. But the guy will summon fireballs. He will summon dogs, and he will summon. The dogs, I forget what their names are, but the cutlasses. I don't know what those. I knew their name in Chapter 2, but he will also summon the Gladius swords. So you can use these as the ammunition. So you want to throw the dogs back at him. You want to throw the swords back at him. When he summons the cutlasses, those fish, you can use charge shot level 3 to kill them, because that's the best way to stun them and bring them up out of the ground. This attack, if it hits you, it will stun you, and the next one will hit you. So that's your penalty there. You always want to be doing this. Notice the times when he is indisposed. Like when he goes in the middle and says time to die, that means you need to get over to him and hit him very promptly. And then you could also do that offensive move with the double trigger and do damage. So you're pretty much finished if he does that move. It takes off half your life. If he grabs you, he does a grab move too, which you can get out of. I think that move right there. So if you get grabbed, definitely use the double trigger explosion. That's something Ninja Gaiden 2 needed to implement. You need to be able to sacrifice something to get out of a grab. And what's the best thing to sacrifice? Nimpo. It's an obvious choice. If that game could be reworked, Nimpo cancel out of a grab. That would be the same as in this game, DT canceling out of a throw. There has to be some way to offer something to the game in defense of getting grabbed and messing up. Now this attack, I have no idea how to. I think you jump at the last second, but it's hard to know when the last second of those fan blades is. So we're just using the level 3. That is the grab when he does that. So just move out of the way and keep hitting him with exceed hits. It is difficult while you're doing combos to incorporate exceed max axe on that. I understand that. That is difficult. Here he's doing his whirlwind attack with and I somehow managed to get out of that one. But it's basically he'll summon a lot of things. You're throwing it back at him. You're doing the charge shot level 3 all the time, and then you're streaking over to him and dealing damage. And it's not too bad of a fight. You just got to do it a few times, and then you'll learn the ropes. So I will see you in Mission 10, everybody. Thanks for watching.